Welcome back to my channel. Alright, so look, in this video right here, we got what if Naruto was a part of the Nara clan. And so I'm gonna say after he walks in, everybody was like, man, who the hell is this? Cause they know who Naruto was because he wasn't in the academy. So they pissed because like how this random ass nigga just gonna come up here and just be like, oh yeah, I'm a part of. I'm just finna graduate. You know what I'm saying? So he just goes to sit down, right? And I'm gonna say that the whole class, um, the whole class, um, challenges Naruto, and well, not the whole class except for Shikamaru and Shino, and that's why I'm a flashback. I'm a flashback. I'm a flashback. To once after he asked Ruzin if he could leave the academy, and when he Ruzin said yes. So I'm gonna say that Shikamaru and Shino, they're tight, you know what I'm saying? And they were hanging out, right? And Naruto's walking around and he saw Shikamaru and Shino hanging out, and he walked up to him. He was like, "Hey, what's up, y'all?" And then so I'm telling you, they all became friends. They were like the three musketeers. They was tight. They best friends, you know what I'm saying? And they and Shikamaru, he wanted to get stronger because Naruto was stronger. So he's stronger and he knows a lot more techniques, and he is like he's still Shikamaru, but he's a lot stronger physically. And Shino actually picked up a lot of good taijutsu. And I'm gonna say yeah, he picked up a lot of taijutsu, right? And so all right, we in the flashback. So everybody challenges Naruto except for Shino and Shikamaru. And so they go out to the field, right? And they about to fight. They getting ready to fight. Naruto's in the middle, and he's being surrounded by all the class, by the whole class. And next thing you know, they all start charging at him. But then they all stop. They can't. It's like they can't move, right? It's like they can't move. They all just stop. They all just stop. And then next thing you know, they all see that they got chains. Like they're binded by these black chains. See, the black chains, I'm gonna say this is why he has black chains. He found that out in his ability. Now remember when all the secret clan techniques traveled up into Naruto? Well, they mixed with his Uzumaki blood, and that affected his Uzumaki chains, turning them black. And so I'm gonna say that once you even get touched by these Uzumaki chains can take your shadow. You know what I'm saying? But so you know, you know, they're all surrounded by chains, and then they get pulled into the ground, and all of them just look like whack-a-moles. Like they're just sitting there. I mean, they're not sitting there, but they buried, and all there is their head just sticking out, and so that's how it is. And then so Naruto's declared the winner, right? And so they go back to class, right? They go back to the class and they sit down, and Naruto's got his sword, just chilling, like Sasuke in Shippuden when he was trying to recruit Karin, where he was just sitting there and he had his sword like hanging on his arm, just chilling right there, and so you know, and then Sakura walks up. No, I'm gonna say Sasuke walks up to Naruto and was like, hey, you, give me that sword, right? He's like, hey, dope, give me that sword. His Sasuke emo, ways, because it was a black sword, and Sasuke like, the dark colors. So he's like, give me that sword, and he was like, no, and he's like, and then Sasuke was like, I said, give me that sword, and Naruto was like, no, and then so Sasuke goes to grab the sword, and then once he picks it up, he drops it. He drops it, and that's because Naruto, nobody else besides a Nara or the person that Naruto wants him to use that sword can use that sword. Okay, so Naruto, He's like, you can't wield my sword. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why he dropped it is because his shadow was getting sucked. His shadow was getting sucked into the sword. All right, and so he dropped it. And so, next thing you know, Iruka walk in, and Iruka's like, "All right, class, settle down." And so, he just start, talking the genin teams, and I'm gonna say this. Is what I'm gonna say. Team Team 7 is actually gonna be Naruto, Shikamaru, and Shino. Yeah, Shino, and their sensei, their Joni sensei is gonna be Asuma. And so, you know, and then next thing you know, they go to the next team, and it's gonna be Sasuke. It's gonna be Sasuke, Sakura, and Ino. Yeah, it's gonna be Sasuke, Sakura, and Ino, and all the rest of the teams they gonna go the same. They gonna be the same as Ken. And all the rest of them. And so so Asuma come in, right, and Asuma was like, Team 7, get your asses down here. And so they walk down there, and Asuma walks them to this barbecue place, and they be eating lunch, and then they're like, tell us about yourselves. And I'm gonna just say Naruto is lazy as hell, just like Shikamaru. And I'm gonna say Shino is lazy as hell too, from hanging around them. So like they all like they're just lazy as fuck. And so and then Shikamaru's like, it's such a drag. And then Naruto's like, oh, troublesome. And then so and Shikamaru and Shino's just sitting there, and he whispers, troublesome. You know what I'm saying? So they tell him their likes, and not this is what Naruto says. Naruto says, I like ramen. I like learning new jutsus, and my dislikes are arrogant people. And he's like, and my goal is to become the strongest Nara and become the Hokage. And Shikamaru says, my goal. He says he likes looking at the clouds. He dislikes people who talks about his friends, and then I'm gonna say his goal is to help Naruto, accomplish his dream. And I'm gonna say Shino had whatever Shino says. I don't know what the hell Shino would say, to be honest. And so they cooling, and then next thing you know, Asuma was like, meet me at training ground 7 for our for training tomorrow. That's what he says. He says, meet me at training ground 7 for training tomorrow. And then so you know next day rolls around, and they go to training ground 7 for training. But it was not actually training, it was the genin test. And so they go, and Osmo's like, alright, I'm gonna just give it to you blank. He's just like, I'm gonna just give it to you straight. I don't wanna have a genin team. That's what he says. He says, I don't wanna have a genin team. And so they're like, what? And he's like, my father has been pestering me to get a genin team. So I'm not gonna take the whole team, because like that's just too much. I don't care. I don't want a genin team. So I'm gonna just take one of y'all, and I'm gonna leave y'all to figure it out. Y'all can decide amongst yourselves who's gonna be a part of my team. And then they all know the reasoning behind this. They all know the true intention. And so next thing you know, Asuma tries to body flicker away, and then he can't move. And then Shikamaru's like, where do you think you're going? And Asuma's like, go eat lunch. And Shikamaru's like, no, you're not going to eat lunch. And then he says, pass us, or we'll tell Kuro and I that you're breaking up with her. And then Asuma's like, what? I didn't hear you right. Nani? The fuck? And so Asuma's like, all right, y'all pass. And so, you know, he's like, y'all start y'all missions tomorrow. And I'm gonna say, once the next day rolls around and they start their missions, and they're these D ranks and Shikamaru, and they're all like, ooh, just D ranks, just simple missions, right? And so they vibing because they lazy as hell. They don't want to do no fucking missions, and so I'm gonna say 2 months go by, 2 months pass, 2 months fly by in the wind, and I'm gonna say Naruto learned his chakra affinity and he knows some winjutsus now, and they all learned their chakra affinity. I'm gonna say Shino's chakra affinity is I'm gonna say his is Earth, and I'm gonna say Shikamaru's is let me see. I'm gonna say Shikamaru's is water. Yeah, and then so they've been doing these D rank missions, and I'm gonna say like they've been doing all the D rank missions. They've been doing so many D rank missions that they did 400 missions. They did 400 missions, and then they just started to get tired of these D rank missions, and yeah, so they go in there and Naruto's like, "Hey, you old geezer, give us a bigger mission," and Nara and Asuma's like, "Respect the Hokage," and then the Hokage's like, "Ah, Naruto boy, I see you on a bigger mission or a higher rank mission," and so he looks at Asuma and Asuma shakes his head yes, and so they send in Tazuna, right, and Tazuna's drunk. And he's like, yeah, these brats are supposed to protect me. And then he takes a look at all of them. He's like, you know what? They look good. They look cool. They look cool. They look like they can protect me. And so you know they they go they sell out, right. And I'm gonna say that when the Demon Brothers pop out, I'm gonna say Shino quickly dispatches the Demon Brothers. It's not Naruto, it's Shino, cause he still his chakra bugs still they chakra, and they dispatch them, and they interrogate one, and they see, and then they get all the information about Zabuza, Haku. They get all the good information, and so they're walking, and they in front of Tazuna, and they're like, bruh, this and why, and it's like, and Tazuna's like, he's like, I ain't have enough money to pay. But and so they had some sympathy for him, and then they kept on going, and then all out of nowhere, at the same exact time, Asuma and Naruto just say duck, and then so they all duck except for Naruto. Naruto's just standing there, and then the blade comes, and Naruto just catches it out of the air like a G. He just catches it out of the air like a straight G, and so he's like, and then Zabuza comes in and he's like, "Hey, you brat, give me my blade back." And then Naruto just throws it back at Zabuza, and Zabuza catches it, and then Naruto's like, "No worries, it'll be mine soon." And then I'm gonna say Naruto charges at Zabuza. I mean, not. I mean, not. No, Zabuza charges at Naruto, right? About to cut his head off, and then Naruto pulls his sword out and blocks Zabuza's blade, and that's where I'm gonna end it off. I'm gonna end it off right there. But anyway, this has been What If Naruto Was a Nara Part 2. Peace out.